everyone. So for this lab session, we're going to show you a demonstration of a high fidelity of a task analysis performed on a high fidelity prototype. Earlier in this course, we demonstrated a task analysis performed on a low fidelity prototype, and this time we're going to do it on a high fidelity prototype, and we're going to show you what is the difference that arises in the questions that you will ask your users and the inferences that you will receive compared to the ones that we did in low fidelity prototyping. So, just to start, I will give you a little background of the application prototype that we have here. So, this application called Howl is used to find people to connect with people with similar interests using certain activities that you want to perform. For instance, let's say you are free to watch a movie in the afternoon or play tennis in the evening, and you wish to search for people who have similar interests who can perform that activity along with you. So, this application prototype we created had this use case to connect with people with similar interests. So I have Shrey here who's going to go through the prototype. He hasn't seen this prototype before, and I'm going to ask him certain questions that I desire to know about my high fidelity prototype. So let's begin. So Shrey, why don't you log into the app and look around and click a few buttons and see what you can find. And while you're doing that, please try and think aloud towards what you can see, what you feel about the elements in the UI.
Sure. So I'm here on the login page and I can see a very colorful background with the supposedly the logo of the application. Now I will log in. Okay, this page asks me to find activities that I would be interested in. So, okay, so I'm assuming that in the actual app this will be clickable.
Yeah.
So I select, say, sports, and then I click next. So here I'm on a page which says my feed. Here I can see some people looking for other people to do certain things. So for instance, Ramit wants to play tennis today, and today being 1st March, Wednesday. And there's some information looking for people to play tennis with in the evening today. I am okay. So tags. Okay, okay, they have tags. I'm not sure what we can do with that, but okay. I can see that there are 5 people going for this. I can see there's an option. I can click here if I'm interested, and I'm not sure what this button does.
Okay.
So if I click on, okay, I maybe this is okay. So this is filters. Okay, all right. So here I can see things like show only from interests. So I'm guessing this means I can see activities which correspond to my interests. Okay.
Go on.
So I'll move to the second tab. So here are my activities, which I guess means that this is what I was interested in. And if I click here, I can see so the details for the activity. I can see how many people are going and interested. Um, I'm not too sure what the difference between going and interested is right now, but okay. So here I see a chat box, and here I see an, a, a pencil. I'm not, I don't think I understand what that is. Right, so, okay, here I can create a new activity with the title, add what it's about, the tags. Okay, now I think I'm figuring out what the tags are, and a time or date, and a location. So I can also invite friends or add photos. Sure, okay. Then I have the notifications. Okay, so 4 people are interested in my activity. Oh, right. Okay. So this is my activity, and these people are interested, and I can select them, and then they would be approved, and they would be going then, I'm guessing.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, and here I can see some other notifications. I tried to follow this person, and he approved my request. And this is my profile. Here I can see how many followers I have, how many people I'm following, and how many activities. This is similar to the Instagram UI.
Yes.
Here I can see some things I've written about me, what I do, some tags, and my activity history. Okay,
So shall we go on and give you certain tasks to perform so we understand
sure.
your perception of the app better?
Hmm.
Okay. So firstly, what do you think about the present color scheme of the app? I mean, how satisfied or how dissatisfied are you with it?
So I think it's a little bright, and
Mhm.
personally, I like the vibrant nature of it, but I can see that some people may not like this because orange is a very, I don't know, for me, I feel that it's a um it depends on not everybody likes it that much. It's not as universally accepted. That's why I feel that
Okay.
anyway, for me, I like it.
Okay. Okay, sure. So what do you feel about the layout of the news feed? I mean, is there something that you want to change, or what were the things that you liked?
So I think over here there's a lot of text, and it's a little weird. I can't. I mean, I can read it, but it's a little hard to digest at once because there is so much text around
Okay.
each post, and I I'm not sure what this button over here
Okay.
does.
So this is for sharing a particular activity to WhatsApp or Messenger if you want to share it outside the application with other people.
Okay. Yeah, that I don't think that was intuitive. I couldn't figure that out.
Okay. What about other buttons? Are there other buttons that you're not able to understand what they do? Or
So this button, it took me a second to figure it out. It might be neater to have like a smaller, more concise button, but
okay,
which is more informative
okay,
rather than just having a big one over here. But yeah.
okay. So um, can you follow one of the users that you can see in your newsfeed?
Okay. So okay, I can't. I'll click on this one,
Yeah.
and okay, I will click the follow button.
Yes.
Okay, right.
Yeah. In the actual application, this will send a follow request to the
Okay,
user.
okay.
So you can go back. Okay. Can you filter the activities in your newsfeed?
Yeah, okay. So this is the filter button that I found earlier. So here I can use this to filter.
Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and create an activity to do a particular task?
Okay, so I will go here on the new activity. I will type in a title, a description, some tags, say I want to play cricket, so sports, then add a location,
Okay.
and then create it.
Okay. Right. Good. So let's say that you have already created an activity. How would you go ahead and edit that activity?
Okay, so
For instance, let's say you created an activity to play tennis at a particular location, but you found that it's not possible to play there that
yeah,
evening.
okay.
So you want to change the location to something else.
So I think I could see my history over here. I will go to tennis and oh right, so maybe this pen does that and allows me to edit this.
Okay,
Okay,
right.
that makes sense now.
Hmm. Okay, so let's say that you have created an activity and there are certain people interested in it. How can you go ahead and chat with those people? Because at times you would want to, run a background check on them or
Yeah.
try and, figure out certain things that you cannot do entirely on the interface.
So on this page, I see this text box, a sort of button here. So I think this is going to lead to the okay, yeah. This opens up the chat for the activity over here.
Okay, good. So, okay. So let's say that you have to edit the bio in your profile or like access the settings page. How would you do that?
Okay. So yeah, not over here. So my profile
Hmm.
and okay, I can't edit this through here. Okay, maybe so over here. Would there be an option here somewhere? Mm, so yeah, I don't know how I would go about it from here.
Okay. So you would actually, when you go to the settings, you can find privacy settings there, right? So this is where you update your profile.
Ah,
Yeah, this
okay.
wasn't clear.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I could not figure that out at all.
Okay. So, would you want settings as a separate page, or would you want to, edit these settings from the profile page itself? Like you have small buttons here to edit the bio or your profile picture. So, would you prefer to have a separate settings menu, or have the settings in the form of a feed on the profile page itself?
So I think that having buttons on the page itself would be easier because it would be much more intuitive. And since I personally was not able to figure out how to edit my details then, I think that this way, if there was like small buttons here to allow me to edit these, it would make a lot. It would be much easier for me to understand. And yeah, so I think I would prefer that way.
Okay. So let's say now you have to search for certain activities. Let's say you are free and you open this application and you want to search for particular activities that are happening around your area. How would you do that? Let's say you are interested in playing football this evening.
Okay, so I'm supposed to search. Okay.
Yeah.
So no, here is what I'm where I'm approved, I'm guessing. And this would let me create a new one.
Hmm.
So maybe it's here, and so I would say just scroll down and look for things. Or maybe if you said that I want to look for football specifically, I would select my interests. Or if there was an option here where I could put in a particular, say,
Hmm.
interest, and then I would be able to look for it.
Okay, sure. So one more thing about the UI of your feed. So when you see here 5 people going, 10 people going, and when you browse through an activity that you have created, you saw those people separately, right? So which UI would you prefer here? Yeah, when you go to an activity, you see
Yeah,
people
over here.
separately here,
Right,
which are interested in the activity.
right.
And when you go to the news feed, you just see 10 people going, 5 people going. So would you
Okay.
like to view the profile of the users here, like the activity page?
So I think just UI wise, this thing looks much cleaner.
Hmm.
But then there's also the aspect that I would like to know who is going for an activity.
Hmm.
Now, I don't know if that is a privacy breach or not, but that's what I think it'll be great to see that.
Okay.
So, I think I would prefer this one
Okay.
over just seeing that there are X number of people who are going for it.
Okay. So any other comments or suggestions you would have about the design of the application, or is or the or some there's something around in the UI which you are not entirely sure, you haven't figured out?
So the biggest issue for me was one of this button over here, the share button. I could not figure out what it meant. Also, I don't know what this time over here is.
Okay.
Um, is like, yeah, I don't know if this is the current, like the time that was posted. This says 2 hours ago. This is 8 hours, meaning 8 a.m. in the morning. So I don't really understand what this means.
Okay. So thank you so much, Trey, for your time and looking through the application and working through the prototype. Thank you.
Thanks.
So this was a high fidelity task analysis that we performed with Shrey here on this application. And if you can see the differences in the questions that were there with the low fidelity prototype. In the low fidelity prototype, we were focusing more on the functionalities, on seeing how we can refine a functionality, how we can add different functionalities. But here we were concerned more about the UI elements and the design of the application. So I'll share the inferences that we have received from this high fidelity prototype task analysis. Firstly, the user is not entirely sure what the tags mean when he sees his news feed. He's also not sure about the share button. The share button and the tags are not intuitive to the user, and it took him a moment to figure them out. Thirdly, the filters were also not entirely clear, the button for filters. Although we thought that it's a very usual button, it's a very familiar design pattern which is used in other applications as well. But the user had a bit of a problem in figuring out that the button was meant for filtering the newsfeed. Also, in the first go, the difference between users interested in an activity and the users going to an activity wasn't clear. Only when the user realized that if he creates an activity, he can accept and rejects a person's request to join the activity. Only then the difference was clear. That is something we should work upon. The edit activity button was not clear. There was a pen there, but it wasn't intuitive that the pen meant editing an activity. We could probably have a button there which clearly says edit activity to make it more clear. So the user liked the vibrant color design of the application, and he was fine with the colors that were used in the application. The user did point out this that there was a lot of text in the activity, which was looking slightly cluttered, which was something that we wanted feedback on. So maybe we should, do something towards reducing the description of the activity on the news feed. There could be a more concise button for the interested button to show interest in an activity, as the user pointed out. Also, editing the profile was completely unclear to the user. In the settings option, the user could not figure out that he needs to go into the privacy settings to do that. So I think we should have settings options on the profile page itself to make it more intuitive. Also, the time of an activity here, 2 hours, 8 hours. This was the time when the activity was posted by the said person. Was not entirely clear to the user that is this the time when the activity was posted, or is this the time after which the activity is supposed to take place. So I think we should be more careful in making this distinction. Thank you, everyone.